Hey guys, it's Sean with Autoanatomy. Just going to bring you a little short video on repairing one of the gauges in the Porsche 924 project. This is not our normal weekly video. This is just a little bonus content. So let's get started on getting that gauge apart and fixing the lighting problem. Something I noticed previously on the 924 is that all of the lights work on the dashboard except for, let's see if I can show you, the lights on this one. And I'd taken the gauge apart at one point and it looks like maybe there's a loose connection or something, but I think I'm really going to try and get in there and just like clean everything really well and see if I can make this work again before just giving up totally on this gauge. Okay, got the gauge here on the bench, and I found this instruction manual that it's in German, but you can translate it into English, and it kind of goes step by step of how to take it apart, where to clean all the contacts. And it really seems like a pretty good instruction on how to do this. So I'm going to try my best to take this gauge apart and see if we can get the lights working again. Not a gauge person, but hey, you know I'm not afraid to give something a shot. So let's get this thing apart and see what it looks like. Okay, so first steps looks like taking out these 3 slot heads, 2 Phillips, and then these 2 nuts. Says here the exact installation position is also recommended to be marked on the housing beforehand with a pen. So we'll just put a little line right here so that way we know what goes where. Okay, now, all right, let me take these off. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, so it just pops out of there. Okay, down to just this. So it says here the contact pins go into the sockets of the instruments, and toothpicks and emery paper can be used to clean those out. Mine was working okay, but I'm still going to go ahead and clean these out. But really, the biggest concern that I had was that the lights didn't work. So the instrument lights, and I'm sure that it's something simple, like one of these isn't making good connection. Okay, I've got some 2000 grit sandpaper here. I'm just going to lightly polish all of the contact areas where the lights will hit, trying not to hit the white part here. So just really want to lightly go through and clean. I don't know if you can see how it's already starting to clean that copper off a little. So pin 3 is our power here, and if I put ground on pin 2 and power on pin 3, this should light up, but I'm not getting anything. So looking at the pins, it looks like pin 3 goes through, and we've got a trace that comes up to the top side here and then goes all the way around the bottom here to this. So pin 3 supplies the power to these two lights, which is the the illumination. So if I put pin 2 to ground, pin 3 to power, nothing there. If I power up here, okay, so that works. So our connection problem is somewhere in between this pin and the socket. And I'm wondering if it isn't like this trace right here where it's burnt, although that's just scraping right off. Let's do a little continuity testing, see if we can find out exactly where it is. Okay, so we've got continuity there. So it's not through the pin. Okay, but I have no continuity here. So somewhere between the back of this pin and here, we have no continuity. Just scrape off just the tiniest bit of coating here. I can always put some paint back on that. Okay, so I've got continuity to the trace, which means that it's not at this solder joint. So it's somewhere between here and here. I wonder, is it open over? So let's continue our digging. Again, just the tiniest little scrape there. Okay. So there's continuity to that, continuity there, no continuity here. So somewhere along here we lose our trace. Huh. That's interesting, because now I can push. Look at that. I can push down and get continuity, lift up, and it doesn't. So there's our problem. Somewhere right there, that trace is broken. I wonder if I can just like bypass that since it's right there on the edge. Maybe just like take a little piece of wire and just jumper across that. All right, so I found the problem. I scraped a little bit more of that trace, and see if you can see that. There's a crack in the board right there. And that's what's causing our lights to not work. So I think I'm just gonna try and grind that out just a little bit and put some solder right in there to bridge that, that crack. And then fingers crossed that will work. So I laid just the tiniest little bead of solder from one side to the other, and now we have continuity. So if I put power to it, let's see, there we go. Now we have lights again. So now we'll just put this all back together now that everything's clean again, and Lord willing, it all still works again. Gauge is all back together. Make sure it still works here. And let's see if you can even see that. Yep. Lights are working now. One more crisis averted. Let's get this back together. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you again for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell to be notified when new videos come out. We should have some new Mustang content out next week. And before too long, we're going to start working on the body work on the Porsche. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later. Take care of each other.